Hey Taurus, Taurus rising, Happy New Year and welcome to your January horoscope. So I'm going to get straight into it. Your 11th house is going to be of great importance. I mean, it's been of great importance for quite some time because not only did you have, and I say did you have because some of these planets are getting ready to move out, but they're still here for now. You've had Neptune in your 11th house for quite some time, and so has Saturn been here for a while now. And Saturn may have been bringing some obstacles or challenges or tension, but on January the 2nd, Venus will be moving into your 11th house, bringing much more light into this area of life. So during this time, yes, there could be a brief period when Venus and Saturn are together in the cosmos where you feel a little restricted when it comes to connecting with others or even with your hopes and visions for the future. But when Venus moves away from Saturn and is at a distance, Venus is going to be happy in this area of life and it's going to want to socialize. It's going to want to be out there and connect with other people, and it's going to feel much more creative. Now, what's major is on January the 11th, the North Node will move into Pisces and remain in your 11th house for the next 18 months. So that is going to be major because the North Node is a destiny point. It's what we're meant to grow into, evolve, and move into. So for you, it's the 11th house of friendships, groups, collaborations when it comes to your hopes and visions for the future. And this is an Aquarian area of life as well, so humanity and also doing things with others for the world, for humanity is major. So you'll definitely find that you're going to be growing much more in this area of life for the next 18 months. Now let's move on to the Cancerian energy, because Cancer energy is huge this month because we're going to have Mars retrograde that moves into Cancer. So it will move into your third house of travel and communication. And also we're going to have a full moon on January the 13th in your third house. Now this will be impacting your third and ninth house axis. The moon will be in your third house and the sun will be in your ninth house. This is going to be a very intense time because a full moon will be conjunct Mars. And Mars is going to be in retrograde in your third house as well. So the themes around your mind, communicating with other people, expressing yourself, even when it comes to travel, like there can be some frustrations that come along the way, or even like obstacles because Mars is in retrograde, so it's not able to move as quickly or move as fast as it would like. It has to slow down, and that can create a lot of frustration. Although being a Taurus, you are a little more slow paced in your approach towards life. However, when Mars is in your third house, you want to go a little more faster, but then the retrograde energy is kind of preventing it from going as quickly as it wants to go. So there can be a lot of inattention and a lot of frustration. So during this time, you can definitely find yourself getting a little just heated up as well. So that's something to be very mindful of. But the focus here should be about reanalyzing, re-strategizing, refocusing, and redirecting your energy, because that's what the retrograde energy requires of us. And during this full moon on January the 13th, Mars will be in a conjunction with this full moon opposite Pluto as well, because Pluto is at the beginning of Aquarius. So they are going to be making a tense opposition. So again, you can get into power battles, ego battles with other people. You can say things like, during this time, you can really say things that you're going to regret later on, because Mars is ruthless in the third house, especially when it's in retrograde. It's on steroids opposite Pluto, and the full moon being in the mix, like emotions can be at an all-time high, even though you're not like the emotional zodiacs, like the water signs, because you're on earth sign, but still during this time you can get so triggered. So you got to be very conscious and cautious of that. The positive of this full moon is that it supports us in really looking at our shadows, looking at any emotions, any triggers, any frustrations that we need to love on, heal, and transform from one form to another. But this is going to be impacting travel, your mind, communication. Like that's going to be major. This could also impact work and career as well, because Pluto is in your 10th house. And speaking of the 10th house, that's going to be major for you this month as well. And that's because of all the Aquarian energy, which I will get into. But first, let me touch up on Mercury, because Mercury will move into your 9th house as well on January the 8th. And Mercury being in your 9th house is going to be a time where you are going to be very enthusiastic when it comes to traveling and learning and education and even like your philosophies. Mercury loves being in the 9th house. It's at home. Again, got to be careful with the Mars opposition there. but nonetheless, it's very happy here and there's a lot of stimulation. On January the 27th, Mercury will move into your 10th house, and the 10th house, like I said, is a very energized area of life for you this month because the sun will move in your 10th house on January the 19th, and Pluto is in your 10th house, and we're going to have a new moon on January the 29th in your 10th house. So a lot of 10th house energy, goals, ambitions, what you want to achieve, and your career. A lot of stimulation here, a lot of changes and movement, and the new moon is looking very positive because it's making a beautiful trine with Jupiter that is currently in Gemini in your 2nd house. So you can definitely expect a major change, something new during this time to occur regarding career and work and your goals. So that is looking really positive for you, Taurus. Now, last but not least, January the 30th, we have Uranus in your sign going direct. So this is changing a lot for you. You've been going through the most, a lot of changes. Some changes can be really uncomfortable because you are a stubborn fixed earth sign, and there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, from one fixed sign to another, I get it. Listen, I have all this Aquarian energy. I have a fixed moon, so I get it. And I know that sometimes change is difficult because it's just a new territory and it can disrupt a lot of other things in your life. But that's what your higher self wants you to do, is to embrace the changes that come along the way. Now, whatever you've been learning in the last couple of months of Uranus being in retrograde, it's time to apply those lessons, integrate them, and move forward. Uranus is going to move out of your sign this year, but not permanently due to retrograde season, but it will for a brief period move into Gemini. So that may for a lot of you be exciting because if you've had enough of Uranus and Taurus. However, there's still a little cycle that we need to get through before we get there, okay? But this is occurring because change needs to occur in your life. There needs to be a breakthrough. You need to break free. You need to be your true, free, sovereign, independent self. And if that means certain things leaving your life, certain things coming to an end, so be it, as long as it is in your highest good. So Taurus rising, I hope you have an incredible month. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care, and I will speak with you very soon. Lots of love.